Welcome to another video tutorial from 2dgameartguru.com. Today I'm working in Inkscape version 1.4 to create a colorful mask using basic shapes, the pen tool, the node tool, and a lot of clip groups. Let's start with the rounded rectangle. You can round the corners with the extra node in the top right. Add circles for the eyes. I'm only working on the left side of the mask and will duplicate and mirror at a later stage. Some shapes like the horns are easier to create using simple lines and strokes. To round the corner, I use the node tool. You could also use the pass effect. For a single corner, sometimes it's just easier to work with the node tool. When working with vector art, there are usually multiple approaches to get to the same result, and it's a matter of knowing which one works best for you and gets the job done the quickest and easiest way. I combined all lines into one pass. I can still edit the segments with the node tool for quick and easy adjustments before converting the stroke into a pass. To adjust the shape of the circles I created earlier, I convert those to paths as well and edit them with the node tool. I deform the circles to give the mask a little bit more character by using shapes that look a little less generic. For the lips, I duplicate the mouse shape, use the pass effect offset to create an even distance to the mouse and convert the result into a pass. The teeth are done using the pen tool and adjusted with the pass effect corners to get the round edges. The pass effect corners allows me to select multiple nodes and round them at the same time. Even after applying the pass effect, I can still modify the nodes and the curve will be adjusted automatically. For simple shapes like this, I prefer to work with the pen rather than the pencil tool to create those shapes with fewer nodes to make it easier to make changes later on. I usually work with straight lines rather than using the curve option of the Bezier tool. I find it faster and easier to modify, adjust and curve with the node tool. Quite often it's simple shapes that need a little modification to turn into what you need. An ellipse with one sharp node turns into a teardrop shape. I use it for the ears along with a duplicate and the offset for a perfectly matching inner shape. Lastly, I add a shape for the neck as well as a deformed circle for the nose. Time to select all objects on the left, duplicate them, mirror them, and position them on the right. Let's add some color. I start with flat fills to distinguish the different shapes. And arrange the objects while I go, pushing objects further back with the page down or the End key. I remove the strokes from all objects. I won't be needing those anymore. I clip the teeth inside the mouse, making the mouse a clip group and copying the teeth inside. I prefer to work with clip groups over clips or masks, mainly for their editability. It's easier to change the shape of the clip as well as the content inside. I use duplicates of the existing shapes for the shading, setting the fill for this duplicate of the lips to the same color as the neck and changing the blend mode to multiply gives me a nice shade for the shadow. I place the shape inside the neck turned clip group and use a similar approach for the shapes that make up the eyes and the cheeks. Reducing the opacity makes the shadow a little lighter without having to alter the color. To shade the inside of the mouse, I use the duplicate of the clip shape, bring it up, give it a stroke and no fill, set the blend mode to multiply and blur the shape to get a perfect inside shadow. The clip group trims the outer part of the stroke. For the highlights, I duplicate the shapes, move them behind the original and place them a little bit further up. I duplicate the lip shape, cut it, pick a darker color for the base that I turn into a clip group and paste the lighter version inside. Working with clip groups can be confusing. I want to put the shadow shape inside the clip group. Using the up and down does not work. It will skip the clip group. I have to manually drag it inside the clip group. Alternatively, I cut the shape and paste it above the clip group. I select the folder clip and paste, and the element will be placed inside the group. Now I already have an element in there. The base shape covers it up, so I use the arrow up to place the shadow above the base shape. Once I select an object inside a folder and create a new shape, for example with the pen tool, it will place the new shape inside that clip group. I can now edit, scale, recolor or reposition that shape. I can drag it outside the clip group. It won't look any different because the colors match. Or I can drag it back inside the clip group. And here it's a matter of paying attention to the green line that appears. If it shows that it is underneath the name of the group, it will place it under the group, not inside. You want the green bracket to show above the top element inside the group. I use lighter versions of the rectangle to shade a lighter version behind and two different slightly scaled down versions placed inside the clip group. I give those two shapes a gradient fill. I use darker versions of the cheeks and the eyes as clip groups and place the lighter version inside to get a darker edge at the bottom of the shape and allow me to add further detail inside using this pen tool to create a simple texture. While I repeat the process on the other shapes, I speed up the video a little bit more, not to bore you to death. The process is the same. I create clip groups, move and copy content inside, or draw new shapes that are placed inside the clip group. I can still modify the clip shape. In this case, I just use the Boolean difference to cut the edges of the base of the neck. It's slowly getting there. I'm trying to achieve similar levels of detail for all objects, which means I still have to work on the ears and the horns. I draw straight lines with the pen tool, use the node tool to curve them, and assign a stroke as well as the pass effect taper stroke. I use lines for these shapes as they consist of only two nodes, making it a lot easier to adjust. I also work with lines inside the clip group for the horns to create a pattern I can easily alter. I changed the pattern on the right horn to make it look a little more interesting and less like an identical copy. Finally, I darkened the teeth a little bit to be able to add some highlight shapes on top. Seeing the base rectangle still looks a little boring. I add more pattern to match it to the neck before calling this mask finished. The fun part about working with vectors is that it's so easy to change, alter, and edit. I take the same shapes and recolor them, rearrange them slightly to create a totally different looking mask or two. I really enjoyed working with the simple shapes and the bright colors. For these masks, I mainly used basic shapes, the pen tool, the node tool, and a lot of clip groups. I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Let me know in the comments below what you would like to see next, and I will see you again soon.